Hello friends, welcome to the King YouTube channel. Meghan's friends have turned against her. Now clearly, no one can be held responsible for this, right? She made her own choices. It's no coincidence that out of millions of people, Meghan has struggled to maintain friendships. If a few people distance themselves, it might be personal issues, but if everyone distances themselves, it points to Meghan's narcissistic nature. Some might say it's not just bad luck, but when it comes to Meghan Markle, a former member of the royal family, it certainly feels like a storm. That's accurate. As we all know, she had a significant falling out with a former friend who could have been a great ally, Victoria Beckham. Of course, you might recognize the term fashionista often associated with her by the younger generation. Victoria, the wife of former international footballer David Beckham, was involved in what started as a trivial argument that escalated, leading to Prince Harry being discouraged from maintaining his friendship with David despite their long history. But as they say, revenge eventually comes full circle. It's like a dish best served hot, if you get what I mean. Now that Harry and Meghan are no longer the royalty of the streaming giant Netflix, they're facing the repercussions. They've been replaced by a new king and queen, David and Victoria, whose documentary series has earned Emmy nominations. Moreover, as I mentioned earlier, Victoria has now secured a deal for her own show that will showcase her journey in the fashion industry. She'll be upfront about the challenges she's faced, the setbacks, financial losses, and more. Some speculate that these financial struggles might be linked to her lending outfits to others, hoping to gain recognition, including Meghan Markle. So where does this leave us? Let me elaborate. Yes, as we now know, Meghan, Harry, David, and Victoria were once close. They even attended each other's weddings, and if you're like many others who were at Harry and Meghan's wedding, you might be thinking, I'm no longer friends with them, there's no communication now, and reconciliation seems impossible. What about the cast of Suits? None of them remain close to Meghan. Sure, it was a memorable day for them, just like it was for George Clooney, but that's about it. None of them stuck around. So that's where things stand. I'm curious if you all have seen the show Suits. Let's check in. If you have, comment with a 1 and share your thoughts. If you haven't and don't plan to, comment with a 2. Thank you all. Now, things get interesting because, as we know, Victoria has signed this new deal. She'll address those who were critical of her designs, the starting points of her career, and some of the conflicts she's faced, both real and perceived. A reliable source has confirmed that these are the topics that sell. As I've mentioned before, the only reason the Harry and Meghan documentary succeeded was due to the gossip factor, which people loved. They weren't interested in much else. David and Victoria are extremely savvy. Given David's recent appointment as an ambassador for His Majesty the King, they know that discussing this will be important. It's an excellent move for building connections. Netflix, on the other hand, will want to continue this relationship because they know this is the kind of content the public craves. Up until now, we've mainly heard one side of the story, the Sussexes claiming the Beckhams were spreading rumors about them. But that wasn't the case. Regardless, today, David and Victoria are the reigning figures on Netflix with a shiny new deal in hand. Netflix now has the content they need. Victoria can skillfully use the media to her advantage, and if she references anything now, it's exactly what Netflix is looking for. There's no doubt that Netflix is thrilled. To say their relationship with Harry and Meghan is at an all-time low would be an understatement. What started as a promising partnership has turned into a bit of a letdown. Moving forward, Harry and Meghan need to prove their worth, assuming they get another chance on the big screen. Meanwhile, Victoria's upcoming project is highly anticipated, everyone's eager to see it. Meghan Markle is a prime example of how the wrong person can negatively impact others. Just ask Harry. Narcissists are relentless. They're driven to punish and destroy anyone who stands in their way. In their minds, they are superior, and no one is allowed to outshine them. We've seen that Meghan still isn't ready to step back quietly. I wonder if there's still tension brewing. Will it eventually lead to a massive fallout? I'm not too concerned about Harry's security. His actions have led him to this point, but I do think Johnny Depp should have strong security at all times. Harry's nanny once said he was born angry. His spitefulness became known worldwide. That infamous photo of him rudely sticking his tongue out at photographers, along with the Netflix docuseries, revealed his deep-seated jealousy of his brother and resentment towards his father, stepmother, and sister-in-law. Do you think Victoria Beckham was impressed by Meghan Markle's behavior? I doubt it. It might have been deliberate, though. I mean, Meghan has worn sleeveless, backless outfits before, so why suddenly wear full-length sleeves? Meanwhile, David Beckham waited in line for 12 hours to pay his respects to the late Queen, showing more character than many expected. I hadn't admired him until then. He earned significant respect with his humility, respectful attitude, and sense of duty. Victoria, on the other hand, works incredibly hard. She developed her own products and believes in the timelessness of her designs. She doesn't rely on others and never has. When starting her business, she faced setbacks, but instead of complaining, she adapted and thrived. Her music career was stellar. And now her fashion brand is too. You can't fake that, and she never has. Plus, as a devoted wife and mother, she's won people over with her charm and kindness. She's responsible for her successes and deserves to enjoy them for a lifetime. The difference between Victoria and Meghan is clear and stark. Victoria thinks things through and follows them to the end. Meghan, on the other hand, expects others to understand her without clear communication. Victoria's story will be fascinating. She's accomplished so much, unlike Meghan. Moreover, the Beckhams cherish their families. Victoria has even created a fantastic beauty line, including what many consider the best eye pencil ever. Meanwhile, Meghan has never shared photos of her family celebrating Christmas together, except once with a large Christmas tree at their rented Montecito mansion. Harry, your kids are missing out on English traditions. I also heard that the Beckhams were only invited to the wedding ceremony, not the reception. In fact, many people were only invited to the wedding, not the reception. Some even traveled from the USA just to attend the ceremony. Why doesn't that surprise me? Many of Harry's lifelong friends were left out of most of the wedding festivities, especially Tom and Skip, who showed up in Jamaica after Harry broke up with Meghan. That was the final straw for his friends, proving Meghan was manipulative from the start. From the wedding onward, she isolated Harry from friends and family who didn't like her. It's frightening to witness a narcissist in action. Meghan's ego took over. She became too self-important, snared a prince, and changed him. Harry has given up everything for her, only to be treated poorly in return. Worse, he let her diminish him. Their friendships were superficial at best. She's too shallow. If she truly loved Harry, he would still have his friends. I doubt she allows her children to have friends either. David, on the other hand, quietly waited in line for hours to pay his respects to our late Queen, a gesture that spoke volumes about his character. What does Meghan do? She sneers, revealing her lack of character. I truly hope David and Victoria win an Emmy for their documentary. I thoroughly enjoyed it. They're doing an amazing job. You would think Meghan would have seen their friendship as an opportunity to form a strong bond and learn from the Beckhams. It's painful to see how Meghan, who embraced the titles given by our late Queen, misused them, profiting from and tarnishing our country in the worst way. The soon-to-be Sir and Lady Beckham would never do such a thing and have already demonstrated their loyalty to the king and country. When the Beckhams receive their titles, they will attend the next coronation. Meghan, take note. There's a stark contrast between these two couples who have taken completely different paths in life. Harry and Meghan started with everything and have managed to squander it all, leaving us disinterested in hearing more about them. Meanwhile, the Beckhams started with little but have, through their own effort and talent, become a force to be reckoned with, both individually and as a couple. The Beckhams deserve all the praise they receive, while the Sussexes seem to be getting what they deserve, which doesn't appear to be much. Am I right in my assessment? Please share your thoughts with me. Thank you for watching my video. I'd appreciate it if you could show your support by liking, sharing, and subscribing to my channel. Goodbye, and I hope to see you again soon.